Hey guys, Languagehacker here. Board Priest is pretty fun. It's very complicated to play, and I've lost so many games off of tiny little mistakes where I realize, 6 turns down the line that, oh, I shouldn't have used that one card that one turn, or, oh, wait a minute, I died of fatigue, or, oh no, they can mill me because they're paladin and they can heal my cleric. Anyways, there's so many ways, there's a million ways to lose with this deck. But once you learn it very well, you win a lot. I'm not there yet, but I have some cool wins, and I'm starting to gather my intelligence on the deck, but there's a lot to do. It's a bit more complicated than the Shellfish Priest because you can use your resources a bit more easily with Shellfish Priest, and you can just focus on board a little bit. But this deck, you need to make sure you have enough removal for everything up until the point where you equip the Sword of 1,000 Truths from the boars. Anyways, I'll talk about the deck, the mulligans, what cards you're looking for, and what stuff, and whatever. Here's the deck. So, the reason it's called Boar Priest is because of this Elven Boar. It's a 1-mana 1/1 beast with a death rattle. If you had 7 of these die this game, equip a 15/3 Sword of 1,000 Truths. This sword, when you swing, sets your opponent's mana crystals to 0, which means that on their turn they go up to 1 and they can do basically nothing. And you have 3 swings. So next turn you do it again, and then they do nothing, and then you do it again. So it's 45 damage. Funnily enough, 45 damage isn't enough to kill all the decks in Hearthstone right now, because let's say you're against a Control Warrior who has 60 health, or a Druid who has double Earthen Scales. You'll need more than that, and I'll explain how we do that shortly. But this is the idea of the deck. We get to a point where we summon 7 boars, kill them off, and then we have the sword. Now, Raise Dead's not in standard anymore, so we can't do that. However, we still have Amulet of Undying. So the idea is we have 2 boars die, we amulet after trading it so that we get 2 more boars, and then the second amulet we use to summon 3 boars, which is 7 or 4, it doesn't matter, but like you just need 7. Cool. Now the rest of the deck focuses on drawing cards, removing the board, and staying alive. So we have the card draw package, we have Switcheroo and Handmaiden, very, very good cards that have been added right now in this expansion. Thrive is still a good cycle. Cleric has been brought back into standard with Wild Pyro, and even though we don't have Circle of Healing, there are still ways to make this work, i.e. Gift of the Naru, because you can go Pyro, Cleric, some spell, proc all the minions on board, Gift of the Naru, heal off of all of them, and draw cards. Don't forget that this also draws a card if something was healed for was healed for 3 and is still damaged. So if you're at like 26 health, don't forget that this draws 1 extra card, because you can mill if you're not counting properly. Hand space is also a problem in this deck because of how much you're drawing and accounting for and whatnot. So be careful, be prepared to lose a lot before you win, but the deck is really fun and cool to play once you get it off. And there's an achievement for hitting your opponent in the head and killing them with a Sword of 1,000 Truths, so that's cool too. Right, so card draw package. Illuminate's pretty good as well. It's not technically card draw, but it's Discover, which can set up your next draw and can get you relevant discounts. Having like a 1-mana Ruin or a 3-mana Light Bomb can help you in a bit of a pickle. Getting 0-mana Switcheroos to just draw more cards, 0-mana Amulet, so you can set up the pop-off turns very quickly. You might notice that the boars have to die for you to get the sword. So if your opponent just doesn't play minions, and you have boars on the board, then you don't kill, you're killing them with bars, but very, very slowly. So because of that, you have to be aware that you can kill off your own boars with Wild Pyromancer. So you can kill them off on the same turn, going Wild Pyromancer Amulet, or you can kill them off with Shadow Devour, which is used to clear aggressive boards with Pyro, but also used to kill off your boars if you need to, if your opponent refuses to play minions. So you need to, eventually in the late game, make sure you have one of these left over to be able to actually kill off the boars, because your opponents might realize, hey, if I don't kill the boars, I probably win because they're dying in fatigue. So keep that in mind. It's also good at just making a big minion. Against aggro, you could just Pyro Devour, deal 2 AoE to everything, like a Pirate Warrior, and then you just have this big Pyro that doesn't die, which can be quite useful. We have Xyrella, because Xyrella is illegal. We run the cheap heals, Desperate Prayer, Flash Shield, Gift of the Naru. They're cheap spells that let us heal ourselves, stay alive. They proc Xyrella. All of them, except for Desperate Prayer, can be used to proc Cleric as well. And it's cheap spells to use to activate Handmaiden. Zola's in the deck for 2 reasons. One, most of the cards here are just good to copy, right? Against aggressive matchups, you can copy Pyros or Xyrellas to help clean up the board. You can copy Handmaiden to draw more cards if you're a little dry. And if you are facing a deck that has more than 45 health, or that can heal over, whatever, that has more than 45 health or armor, you can copy a boar, and then you hold that boar until the end of the game. So you still go for the boar game plan, but you want to Zola a boar before it dies, ideally on the same turn, so that your opponent doesn't have a chance to kill it. So then you still have your 2 boars, the 2 boars from the amulet, and then another 3 boars from the amulet, which gets you up to 7. But you are then holding on to an extra boar in your hand. So you kill off the 7 boars, you swing 3 times with Sword of a Thousand Truths, and then that tiny little boar in your hand, you can play for tempo, and then kill it off with whatever you have left, and then you get a fresh Sword of a Thousand Truths, which gives you 6 swings in total, which is, what, 90 damage? No deck is above 90 right now, except for maybe like an Ibis Innervate Double Urban Scales. But even then, no, that they could survive with. But at that point, they are also fatiguing because they have no mana and they're not playing cards. So you will actually end up adding like some extra damage and fatigue. Basically, 90 should be more than enough to kill anyone. At the start, I would recommend just trying to get, you know, the game plan online. Don't worry about Zoling the boar, but if you can, start weaving that in to your sort of game plan. It's good to have. You don't need it against every deck. Any deck that doesn't get armor past 30, you will absolutely not need it. So you can use Zola as you wish. But against Druids and Control Warriors in particular, which you might not be seeing that many of on ladder anyways, the Warriors anyways, I'm sure you're seeing plenty of Druids. Against Druids and Control Warriors, you will need to Zola the boar. Light Bomb, don't forget you can kill off your own boars with Light Bomb. I'm not quite sure what's optimal yet if you want to run multiple Ruins or Light Bombs. Light Bomb seems a little expensive and hard to weave in, but I think it is okay to run one because sometimes you do have to aggressively just play Pyros and Devours on board for either card draw or removal. So having a Light Bomb to be able to clear your own boar late game is useful, while also being useful itself to clear up Druid boards or other minions. Ruin is good at specifically clearing up Giants and Ibises and Miracle Growth taunts for Druid, but it might be a little worse against other decks, so I think a 1-1 split right now is okay. Mulligans, you want Switcheroo because it draws cards. You want Handmaiden on Coin. On the play, it's a little harder. In slow matchups, you can keep it, but in fast matchups, Handmaiden on the play might be a bit too slow because it'll take a while to get procced. But with Coin, it's a bit easier, and you have the extra card in your hand. Amulet against slower decks, you can keep on 1. You can keep in your opening hand just to trade it away because you do need to upgrade these over the course of the game, so you might as well spend mana on 1, because on 1 you don't have any good way to spend mana anyways with this deck. Thrive is good because it just lets you pick a card from your deck on turn 2, where we're not doing anything else anyways. Illuminate you can keep because it lets you dredge, discover a card to put on top of your deck, so if you see that your hand isn't doing anything for the next couple turns, you can ship the Illuminate, you know, put a nice little switcheroo on top, put an amulet, get a discount there, or even you could put a Handmaiden on top. Let's say if it's at the bottom of your deck and you say, you know what, I mean, this draws cards, I don't necessarily need a 0-mana amulet, let me just get my card draw engine going. Anything else to keep? Against aggro decks, you can keep Pyromancer and Xyrella because that's a very good way to come back. And sometimes you die if you don't come back on the board very quickly against aggro. Because stuff like Pirate Warrior and Aggro Demon Hunter do start pushing a lot of damage very quickly with the early boards, so you will need a way to deal with that. I think that's it. Don't be afraid to use Volish for tempo. Volish isn't really in this deck as part of a combo. It's just there for, A, you can dump it from your hand for cheap, and B, it replenishes mana crystals. Empty mana crystals, by the way, which is just good. On a pop-off turn where you're going like Cleric, Pyro, Spell, Gift of the Naru, Illuminate, you can ship a Volish, dump it from your hand, you get a bit of extra mana to work with on that turn. It just seems nice and flexible. Sometimes it lets you do get the sword online 1 turn earlier if you plan for it. I think that's it. Don't expect to know how to play the deck just from my explanation here. I'm just trying to give you I'm getting the ball rolling. You have to play this deck and mess up to realize that you messed up and how to avoid doing that in the future. And if you were watching me do this on stream, you'll see that I lost an incredibly frustrating number of games in a row. But each game I lost, I learned something. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I learned not to do this or that, or overdraw, to let my opponents overdraw me, etc., etc., etc. Against classes that can heal, i.e. Priest Mirror or Paladin, who can use their Holy Mackerel, be careful not to leave a Cleric up on the board, because if you do, they can mill you if they realize that. Which I had to learn. Anyways, the deck is super fun to play because there's so many decision points. Your brain's always active, but it can be difficult and frustrating losing many games in a row, getting sort of the game plan solidified. So go in with an open mind, but don't bang your head against the wall too much. It is a complicated deck to play. Anyways, here's some cool games. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more deck guides and all that stuff. Make sure to check out all the other videos. I have guides for all the meta decks right now. Yeah, I suck at outros, so see you guys next time. Why is it always when I forget to squelch the BM? Honestly, they could be BMing even when I don't forget to squelch, but then we just don't see it. Let's try this. It's just that harder to pilot than Nagamage. Nagamage is not that hard to pilot. This deck is substantially harder than Nagamage to pilot. Not Quest, okay. Let's take a cheap spell for Pyro Cleric later. Zyrella Hero? You don't activate anything else. Zyrella does not add boars. Zyrella triggers death rattles, but the death rattles don't actually do anything. I know two of my cards. They're not very good. I think I'll chill. Thoughts on Rune versus Light Bomb. You tried two Light Bombs to run one of each. You know which is best. I have not played too much, so I don't know. I was running one of each to see how they feel. Having a Light Bomb can make some sense because it lets you kill off your own boars if you have to use both pyros early. Do I just do that now or do I do it next turn? No idea if this priest is working. I mean, every single game we've thrown. Like this, we would be 9-1 if we didn't Pepega, but the one mistake every single game has cost us the game. Our opponents set to high roll as well. It's not just that, oh, I make a misplay and the game ends. They capitalized off of it. One. Two. Three. This matchup is probably pretty bad if they're running Mutinous and Vol'jin. Because it's a matchup where you need oh, they're probably not running Mutinous and Vol'jin. It's probably just the Kazakhstan list. Because you need, I think you generally need an extra weapon in this matchup. One Grandmaster's rooms. Grandmaster's over. Grandmaster doesn't exist anymore. It's actually kind of important. Do I use a Devour here? Probably not.
Leave me to my work.
Minions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll let myself stay damaged. It's possible to get 3 weapons. Yes, but your opponent can play around it. So you would have to, like, spawn an extra boar on one of the amulets, and then Shadow or Devour it, so that it kills all the other ones, but it stays alive. Then you get the weapon. And then you have to hope your opponent can't clear the 1/4 boar. Which is honestly not that easy to do, but, you know. I'm just gonna do this now so I don't get Mutinist. Am I flash healing myself?
That's not right.
Yeah. It means I can't Zyrella that often if they don't hit me in the head, but that's fine. I kind of want them cards, because if they don't hit me in the head, I can still just draw stuff, and it's fine. And this is why you need multiple weapons, because they have so much health. Probably just find a heal here. Clear the board.
What knowledge do the stars provide?
I don't actually remember what the second amulet is, size-wise. I can just play this, because I only have 2 boars in the pool anyways. Okay, so this just needs to be traded once more. So I do this now.
I must know more.
I've seen a Rancor, so giving them a bit of extra armor is unlikely with the second Rancor. Because I could spawn this and kill off my board at the same time, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm not guaranteed. No, I am guaranteed. But I need to dump some stuff. Three, 6. No, I don't have enough mana. I'm 1 mana off.
Is someone injured?
We do this and just try to hit the 2 and 3.
Almost out of cards.
Okay, this spawns the boars and kills them. And that's 7. Which now activates the sword. So they don't have mana anymore. And now after 3 swings, they're not dead yet, because they have a bit too much health. But then we have another boar that we can kill off. And then we will kill them with this boar. This little piggy went face.
I am out of cards.
For a loon.
So we can either go boar, handmaiden, and devour, or we can go boar, light bomb. Boar, light bombs makes us take less damage, so I'll do that. And I do it all next turn, because if I do it this turn and he has some, I don't know, there's no way to play around it, but let's say this was a druid and they had like Innervate, Viper, then I could lose if I just played out. So we just wait. And then we hit him with the other boar. Good night, Soundstorm, thanks for hanging. So the light has bombed this boar, which has given us the second Sword of 1,000 Truths. Very nice. Deck. Yeah. Pocket Train hit rank 1 with it, and a few other people have been getting some pretty high ranks with it as well. It's full mull here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Trom. Going second does suck. Yeah. Start off by trading that. Handmaiden in hand, very nice. What is the Zola target in this deck? You can Zola whatever. Zola's Irela for an extra board clear. You can Zola Boar for an extra boar. You can Zola Volish for extra mana. Zola Cleric for draw. Zola Handmaiden for draw. It's flexible. Coin Wildgrowth probably means they have Innervate Nourish as well. Oh, they drew Guff. That's nice. They have Nourish in hand too, but... Well, and another Innervate. Wow. Okay, this game got really hard. This game got hard. Oh. Can you Zola? No. Not in this deck. If you put in some extra discovers, maybe an amalgam with a deep you can, but I don't think you want to. It's a good thing they nerfed Miracle Growth, right, guys? I'm not doing much right now. No thrives, no switcheroos. Wild Pyro will let me go off too. You're new to Hearthstone? Why does the Torrent have 6 more mana than us? It's 7 now. Next turn will be 8. Oh, attack mode. There's switcheroo. Okay, there's a Pyro, and we have Zyrella. Alright, some stuff is happening now. Yeah, that's Guff. Guff likes mana, so Guff gets more mana than we do normally. Why did I trade Amulet instead of playing Boar on 1? Boar on 1 contests nothing, and I need the Amulets upgraded this game. So I traded the Amulet because trading the Amulet also gets me closer to Thrive or Switcheroo, cards that let me do stuff.
Is someone injured?
Like to play with fire?
I mill a little bit here. Milling is not good. Well, I fucked this up. I was supposed to do this in a very different order. Okay, Milling Thrive is fine. We're dead to Battlemaster, but I don't think we're beating out this game based on what our hand was at the start. I meant to trade the thing at the end here, but I didn't have time. I could have set this up set up this turn differently so that I didn't overdraw, but you know, I did not manage to do that. Three, 5, 7. 1, 2. 3. 4. 5. 'Kay. Okay. Wow, game is hard. Okay, so this is ready to draw. I really wanted to play this turn, but my hand was a little too congested, so I did this instead. Now, I use the Silence, which means Ibis is hard to deal with, but we have Ruin and Light Bomb left in our deck, and a few draws to get there. I had to use the second gift of the Naru, so this pop-off is a little bit worse, but that's probably okay. We also have just 3 natural draws from the Maiden, regardless of the Cleric. They have another... Oh, they played Ibis. Never mind then. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, all the Druid games are kind of just melding together since I've been facing only Druids. Sex doesn't seem easy to pilot? No, it's not. Okay, well, we really need to find Ruin or Light Bomb. We have 3 draws to find either of them. Start off with Handmaiden. We hit the Ruin. Quite nice. This needs to be upgraded once. I can look for Light Bomb instead. It clears a little bit more. Actually, hold on though. We trade this. Then we Illuminate. We hit the Amulet. We trade this. We Ruin. We Illuminate. We hit the other Amulet. And then we have the thing next turn. Only 1 Boar has died. Okay. The problem is they're gonna like Miracle Growth and Kazakhs on me this turn, but we'll figure it out. Fine. Leaving this up isn't a problem. They've played all their giants. Okay, and now we play the Sword of 1,000 Truths. Sorry, my throat got a little weird there. So we go... We need an extra Boar. We actually don't need an extra Boar, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So we do this. This kills the second Boar. Which means we get 2 Boars here, which gets us up to 4. And then this gives us the Sword of 1,000 Truths. Suck. Boom! And I'll temp out a Cleric for good luck. And just to contest it to 1. Bye.